Hi, welcome to this How to Learn Faster Masterclass. My name is Iryna McDonald, and today I'm going to help you to make sure that you focus on your studies and you achieve those study goals that you have in mind. So to help you to do that, there are three things we're going to look at. Firstly, it's important to set those goals in the first place because you want to have clarity about your direction, what it is that you want to achieve in your studies. And we want you to feel like you're in control of your studies. If you've got structure, you feel like you're progressing, that you're moving along, and therefore you'll be able to succeed in your exam and achieve your career goals. And finally, we want to make sure that your studies are effective and the information that you acquire as you're learning stays in your head, not just to the exam day, but maybe you'll be able to retain it further and apply it in practice too. So let's now look at it step by step. When you set your goals, it's important that you make those goals SMART. I'm sure you've heard about SMART before. You need to make your goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So to make it specific, don't just say, I want to study accounting, but make it specific to the topic. What is it about accounting you want to study? Is it a little bit on budgeting, or is it a little bit on consolidation? The more specific you are, the more you feel like you've done it. And therefore, internally, you could put that tick and go, okay, I'm in control, I'm on track. To make your goals measurable, think about what are the specific questions that you want to cover in your study time, what pages of your study materials you will work through. Make sure that the goals you set are achievable. We are all very busy. You'll have personal, you'll have work commitments. So make sure that whatever you set yourself up for is realistic. It can be done within the limitations. Keep your study goals relevant. Focus on the key syllabus topics that are important for your exam. And of course, we need to have those clear deadlines. Think about your study schedule by having a clear plan of what you can do on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. You'll be able to stay more on track. And even if it's sometimes just half an hour, it is enough to keep you going. It's enough to keep you progressing in your studies. But it's not just what you've got in your head as your goal. Make sure you put it down on paper. So creating that calendar for yourself on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, what time you've got available, what topics, what pages, what questions you're going to cover will help you to feel more in control of your studies, will help you to progress. And if there are gaps that do eventually happen because life gets in the way, at least you know what exactly you need to catch up on. Sometimes in your studies, you might have those difficult moments when you go, oh, tough. But if you visualize your goal and go, you know what, I really wanted to have that promotion. Once I pass that exam, there may be a pay rise available to me. And with that pay rise, I might be able to treat myself to something lovely. Visualize that something lovely that you're working towards, and that will give you that extra energy boost to persevere despite all the obstacles in your way. And don't struggle on your own. Do tell others what you're doing and why their support will help you to achieve your goals. Whether it's your family members, whether it is your employer, tell them what you're working towards. Tell them about the deadlines for your exam. Tell them how difficult your exams are, because when they understand what your situation is, they're more likely to help you to overcome the difficulties. It will make your goals much more achievable when you get support from others. Well, that's number one, and think about that control element. Studies are often overwhelming because of the volume of materials you need to absorb. So when you look at it at the big picture, it is a lot, but to make it manageable, we need to study in chunks. That means think about it topic by topic. think about it day by day. And through those tiny revision sessions that you might have, 10 minutes here, half an hour there, you will slowly progress. So make sure that you split the whole of the big syllabus into small topics, particularly those topics that are a little bit tougher. Those might be the ones that are worth a tiny bit more of your attention. And even if the going gets tough, do stay positive. Think about what you have already achieved. And I'm sure you have done quite a lot compared to where you've started and where you are now. And you go, okay, so now I do understand how accounting works. I've learned something about being a good manager. I do know what to do with the budget and forecast. At some point of your studies, you didn't, but now you do. So you are progressing. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower, but if you focus on the positive, if you focus on what you have achieved and what you will still be able to achieve in the future, that gives you the boost, the motivation to persevere. And if the going is really, really tough, remind yourself why you want it. Remember we talked about that treat, that reward that's coming, whether it's a career progression, whether it's a bonus, or maybe just a little bit of time off away from the books. All of it will be worth it. So visualize that goal you're working towards. Keep that picture in your mind. If it's something you can, let's say, print out in color and stick it on your fridge, keep it there. And that will be another reminder for you of the lovely place you're going to go on holidays once you get that bonus and pay rise. And that will keep you going. You will have that tangible goal in front of you every day. Finally, let's think about how do we keep all of this information in our head. There will be aspects of the knowledge that are very logical, like calculations. The more you practice, the better you get at it. So by looking at the same calculation several times, maybe with a gap over there too, you will reinforce your learning. With the wordy, analytical topics, by looking at the similar question time and time again, you'll start to recognize repeating patterns in the scenario, and that makes it much easier for you to attempt future questions. But when you're learning, it's not just what you learn, it's how do you learn quicker. And by engaging with the materials, by making materials yours personal, you'll be able to retain information much better. As in, think about using color. So for example, you could just have everything in one color, as you see on the slide, or you could say, there are 3 things I'm gonna learn from the slide. I'm gonna learn about the use of logic in my arguments, and I'm gonna underline this so I remember. I'm gonna think about engaging with the materials, and later on I'll also talk about the importance of repetition. Whatever is your favorite color, as you can see, for me it's green, using colors helps you to make the material specific to you. I personally know quite a few students that like to color code their materials with stickers. So if they want to refer to something very quickly, they will know whether it's green, pink, yellow sticker. That will help them to fast track themselves to the right topic. Also, don't just rely on the printed materials. Create your own records that will make the material easy for you to absorb. Creating little diagrams or mind maps. For example, if I think about accounting, I will need to think about the financial aspect. I will need to think about the management aspect. I will need to think about audit. All of those are the concepts that connect with accounting in my head. And by putting them together in a little diagram, I will be able to retain this information better. I could create a little card for myself with the key concepts that that I can recap on as I go along. I'm also very keen on using mnemonics. For example, today we talked about the importance of SMART objectives. And that mnemonic helps me to remember that when I set goals for myself, I make them specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely, SMART. And if it makes it easy for me to remember, when I come to the exam, I will be in a better position to answer the question on this topic. One final thing we need to do to make sure we retain information is to repeat it. Sometimes you might decide to come back to the same question several times with a little bit of a gap, and you will see the second time you come back to this question, you become better, quick at it. The third time, you're going to be even better and even quicker. So repetition helps you to reinforce what you learn, helps you to build confidence in your ability. And of course, those are the keys to your exam success. Finally, I hope you've enjoyed that little presentation on how to learn faster. And one day, I hope we'll also be able to see each other in one of the Kaplan classes. Lots of luck in your exam.